This story is about a girl named Raquel who has a deep fascination with her mysterious neighbor, Aries Hidalgo. Aries comes from a very wealthy family. Although they have never spoken to each other, Raquel knows everything about Aries' life, even the details of his daily activities and the routes he takes. She has also collected many photos of him and stored his information on her computer. One day, Raquel notices an issue with her internet connection. She soon discovers that Aries has hacked her Wi-Fi password and given it to his younger brother to use. By the way, her Wi-Fi password was Aries Dios Griego, Aries, the Greek god. Without a doubt, Raquel is deeply infatuated with Aries. At school, we are introduced to Raquel's best friend, Yoshi, who is in love with her and even confesses that he wants to marry her. However, Raquel doesn't take him seriously. Meanwhile, her obsession with Aries continues. She secretly watches his sports practices and is even willing to stand in the rain just to catch a glimpse of him. Later, she decides to follow Aries to his house, but he takes a route through a cemetery. Raquel slips and falls into a puddle. Aries then realizes that she has been following him. When he confronts her, Raquel simply states that she is free to walk wherever she wants. Aries responds by telling her that he knows about her obsession with him because he has hacked her computer and seen everything. At that moment, Raquel spontaneously confesses her love for him, admitting that she hopes he will return her feelings. However, Aries does not take her confession seriously and only mocks her. Raquel, now afraid to walk home alone, asks Aries to accompany her. But Aries says there's a price. He wants her to let him hold her in his arms. With no other choice, and secretly not minding it at all, Raquel agrees. But to her surprise, Aries does not embrace her. Instead, he leaves her waiting for the warmth of his hug. That night, Aries climbs up to Raquel's window under the excuse of reconnecting the Wi-Fi. However, the tension between them grows. Raquel, no longer the innocent girl she once was, allows Aries to hold her in his arms. Just as she begins to enjoy the moment, she realizes that Aries has once again left her hanging. Determined, Raquel decides to attend a party to which Aries has invited her. When they find themselves alone, this time Raquel takes the lead, but now it is Aries who is left yearning for her embrace. After returning to the party, Raquel decides to give some alcohol to Aries' younger brother, Apollo. However, he gets too drunk, and Raquel has no choice but to take him home herself, because if Apollo's father finds him in this state, it will cost him dearly. On the way home, Apollo deliberately drops Raquel's phone to prevent her from taking him back. Once they arrive, Apollo rests in Raquel's room. Aries climbs up to her window again to take his brother home, but since their father will wake up soon, he decides to stay with Apollo for the night. And, well, in the meantime, Raquel and Aries take advantage of the situation and hold each other in their arms. The next morning, Aries sends Raquel a new phone to replace the one Apollo had dropped. However, since Raquel doesn't like receiving gifts, she decides to return it to Aries in person. They argue a little at his house, and in the end, Aries asks Raquel if he can hold her again. For a moment, Raquel considers leaving, but she can't resist his offer and ultimately stays. This time, she is determined not to leave him longing for her embrace. After spending some sweet moments together, Aries gets caught up in his video games and starts ignoring Raquel. Furious, she storms out. In the next scene, still feeling upset, Raquel is forced to return to Aries' house because she left her necklace there and wants to get it back. When she confronts Aries again, he tells her to go to his room, as that's where her necklace is. Raquel, still as trusting as ever, believes him, and in the end, the same thing happens as before. They spend a night together, but in the morning, Aries runs away from home as if he's afraid of the consequences of his actions. To avoid facing Raquel directly, he sends his maid, Claudia, to tell her that he had to leave. This only makes Raquel feel worse. Later, Aries considers going after Raquel, but when he sees how heartbroken she is, he changes his mind and decides to leave things as they are. A few days later, at a party, Raquel tries to enjoy herself, but when she sees Aries talking to another girl, her heart breaks. She starts drinking and, along with her friends, does reckless things in the university pool. Meanwhile, Aries returns home and says goodbye to the girl he was with at the party. He then uses a hacking program to check if Raquel has changed her Wi-Fi password. But this isn't a problem for him. He manages to figure it out again. When he sees the new password, he messages Raquel, telling her that he hates her because she made him feel things he never wanted to experience. Raquel, now completely drunk, makes her way home. Aries notices her condition and follows her. He holds her in his arms and takes her to her room so she can rest. Still somewhat conscious, Raquel asks Aries to tell her a story before leaving her life forever. Aries begins telling a story about a boy who once believed his family and life were perfect, but one day, he saw his mother cheating on his father. Shocked by this revelation, he realizes that his father had done the same thing. However, his father tells him that this should not affect their family. He then tells him that love makes a person weak. After hearing the story, Raquel tells Aries that maybe that's why he has never fallen in love, because he is afraid of becoming weak. Hearing this, Aries takes Raquel's hand and says that this time, he thinks he is truly in love. The next morning, Raquel, still suffering from last night's hangover, realizes that she has received messages from Aries, but he has deleted all of them. She considers sending him a message, but ultimately decides against it. Meanwhile, Aries has a meeting with his father and brother. His father tells him that he will have to join the company's board of directors in the future, which is why he is sending him to the US to study economics. Not only that, but he also warns him that he can be with any girl, except Raquel, because he doesn't see her as the right girl for Aries. Sometime later, during a soccer match, Aries dedicates his goal to Raquel and even reveals a jersey with her nickname on it. Afterward, he goes to find Raquel to talk to her and apologize for his past behavior. At first, Raquel refuses to accept his apology, but after Aries repeatedly begs for another chance, she finally agrees to go with him to a masquerade party. Yoshi, who witnesses this, argues with Raquel and tells her that she shouldn't trust Aries again because he will break her heart once more. Raquel reassures Yoshi that she won't let Aries hurt her this time, but Yoshi doesn't believe her and, feeling hurt, says, "When you get your heart broken again, I won't be there for you." Finally, the day of the date arrives. Raquel dresses as a witch, and as expected, Aries wears a Greek god costume. However, contrary to Raquel's expectations, Aries doesn't take her to the masquerade party. Instead, he has something else planned for her. Aries and Raquel go to the top floor of his company's building, where they share a romantic moment and finally surrender to their feelings. Now that they have resolved their differences, they are inseparable. At a dinner party, Aries' father shows him a video of him embracing Raquel at the company. Furious, he warns his son that he must focus on his future and not let the board members find out about this. Unable to take it anymore, Aries interrupts him and declares that not only will he not go to the US, but he also has no intention of studying economics. After saying this, he gets up from the table and leaves. Following this, Aries goes to find Raquel and tells her that he has decided to stay by her side. He wants to work to pay for her medical school because that is her biggest dream. Without hesitation, he then goes to Raquel's boss and asks for a job. Finally, Raquel's boss agrees to Aries' request. However, Aries' brother, who has learned about his new job, decides to sabotage his relationship with Raquel. He hires Raquel's mother as a maid at a charity event to humiliate her. His plan succeeds because, during the event, Aries introduces Raquel to his parents as his fiancée. This humiliating situation makes Raquel furious, and she blames Aries. She slaps him and storms out. A few days later, Aries tries to apologize and asks Raquel to accompany him to the year-end party. However, still heartbroken, Raquel refuses his offer. At home, she talks to her mother about her feelings. Her mother encourages her, saying that if she truly loves Aries, she should go after him. Moved by her mother's words, Raquel decides to find Aries. But when she arrives at his house, his brother blocks her way and refuses to let her in. Still, Raquel doesn't give up and sends Aries a message, asking to meet him at the year-end party. At the party, Raquel is dancing when Aries encounters Yoshi. The two get into an argument, and in a moment of anger, Yoshi pushes Aries into the pool. Although it may not seem too dangerous, Aries' chlorine allergy puts him in serious danger. Realizing what he has done, Yoshi immediately tells Raquel. Overcome with worry, Raquel jumps into the pool to save Aries. After several critical days, Aries recovers. His family, deeply affected by the recent events, finally accepts his relationship with Raquel. Moreover, they allow him to study medicine at Stockholm University. Before flying to Sweden, Aries reveals a surprising truth to Raquel. He had intentionally disrupted his internet connection from the very beginning to get closer to her. 4 months later, Raquel publishes her story in a book titled Through My Window. In the end, she receives a message from Aries and realizes that he has returned to the city to see her. And just like that, their story comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed this introduction. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give me your support with likes and comments.